We say what they can't radio.
What's up, world? Hope everybody's having a beautiful day. Welcome to Young, Gifted, and Black. Tonight, my guest is Kirk, aka Slick. I'm gonna introduce my brother, one of my good friends. I knew my brother for a long time. I asked him to come on tonight, talk about some issues. Kirk, Slick, introduce yourself to the world.
Slick, man. Best Stop Brooklyn, clothing designer, regular.
What's the name of your brand?
Flight Time Apparel.
Okay, how long you been up and running? Tell me a little bit about yourself. Like, what made you want to do a clothing brand? Like, out of all the different things that you could do, I know you're a very smart brother. What made you decide to put your energy into doing a clothing brand?
It's kind of complicated. I was incarcerated and for a long period of time.
Okay.
In and out, young. I felt the only way to get money was through the streets. Where we grew up at. Our circumstances. So growing up in poverty, you feel like, you want to be the man. You want to take care of your family. You want to take care of the people that's around you.
Absolutely.
So I was incarcerated and I got tired of it. I got tired of Mama Love coming up with packages. I got tired of my lady coming on visits and buses and answering phones and putting money on phones, or me being out there all of this time, scraping up, scrambling, ducking the cops, ducking the jack boys. And at the end of the day, I'm paying it back to the white man because now I got to pay lawyer fees.
Yes.
I got to get commissary. I got to pay bills. And I'm not reaping the benefits of my labors. So, I was in the yard. Anybody that's been on Rikers Island know when you in the yard, the planes fly over the yard. And due to the fact of my constant incarceration, I never was on a plane. So, one day I was spending the yard with my man and I'm looking up and I see the planes keep going by and it was intriguing to me. It's like, I need to be on a plane. I need to be getting up out of here. I need to fly out. I need to see different things. There's more to life than just Brooklyn or the four corners that I'm around, which is Gates Avenue, Bed-Stuy. So it's like, I was just like, you know what? Flight time. It's flight time. When I get out of here, it's flight time.
Well, I want to say that I think that you have an amazing brand. I've been watching you out here grinding for years. And that's one of the things that I admire about you. I've always seen you, wherever it be all over Brooklyn, you always got your suitcase, you always got your stuff in your car, you always moving, you always got positive vibes. For me, I guess me and you've never had a negative moment. It's always positive vibes. You see me, you show love. I see you, I show love. And I respect the hard work and dedication in what you're doing. And
I appreciate that.
Absolutely. And sometimes where we come from, I have been locked up as well. I was able to get off because I didn't have a record, and I hung around the wrong people and got myself in a little bit of trouble years ago. And it's so easy for where we come from for us to get caught up in violence and for us to get caught up in just doing the wrong thing. So I commend you for going through that transition stage of letting adversity hit you in the face and knock you off your feet, but getting back up and then putting yourself in a position where I could sit here with you now on this podcast and you could rep your own brand and I could say that you're a hardworking entrepreneur. That's a blessing. Right. And I wish my brothers nothing but love.
And I appreciate that wholeheartedly because I honor the fact that you're doing what you're doing too. Because I walk through Bed-Stuy on a regular basis. Like I hop on my V, I walk certain places, I see certain things, and I look down and I see Koolforlife, and that's like motivation to me.
I appreciate that, bro.
Like you see that inked in the ground and people, actually taking pictures, or I see it on my social media and I'm like, damn, word, that's my man, Cool K. So it's like, you look at all of that and you view it a little bit differently.
I think that still sharpens steel, and where we come from, not even where we come from, people of color all around the world now, entrepreneurs are picking up, and people are starting to start their own business. But I think that people of color went through a stage where everybody wanted to sell. And don't get me wrong, in the business world, it's about buying and selling and trading and things of that nature. Right. But I think that because of the consequences of the crack era. I'm a crack baby. I'm not ashamed to say it. You know what I'm saying? Like I came from that era, and At the time, my mother was a Rolling Stone, so I did go through certain, adversity coming up in '85, being born in 1985, and then having to move to Brooklyn. Like that showed me like the different perspectives of the world and of my culture, and you had to act a certain way, you had to walk a certain way, and it makes me think about how so many of our young brothers and sisters, fall victim to dying. You know what I'm saying? Like rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle and all the fallen brothers that have lost their life and sisters that have lost their life. But so many of our people get caught up in this system of violence. And, what's one of the reasons that kept you, like you just told me a little bit, but like it's really hard to be able to maintain your stance and who you want to be in this world, where we come from. So what gave you strength to, was it the adversity of you going to jail and seeing that you deserve more? Like what gives you the motivation? Because it's not easy being an entrepreneur, bro.
My motivation comes from various areas. Understand? My motivation comes from my people sometimes. My motivation may come from you. Like I just told you, I walk through the style, I see Koolforlife on the ground.
Yeah.
Or I go in the barbershop, I see somebody with a Koolforlife shirt on. Or I go in the supermarket, I see somebody with a Koolforlife shirt on. I say to myself, a wise man is wise because he learns from others' mistakes. A smart man is smart because he learns from his own mistakes. So I learn and I just see it and I'm like, damn, my man don't do no jail stinks. And he got people that's representing his brand, people that's honoring the fact that he's doing something. And then at the same token, like I told you, my family. I have family. I have relatives that look up to me. And me seeing them get coming on a visit or me understanding that they got to take a 35-pound package here in order for it to be shipped out, in order for me to eat. That's like strenuous, especially on a woman or a mother.
Yeah.
It's like, so that's my motivation. And then at the same token, I want to see the people around me win. I want to be able to put the people that I know aren't as capable as me mentally in a position to win. That's my motivation.
Well said. You know, my great grandmother came from the South in like the 50s when the Civil Rights Bill didn't even get passed yet. And she was able to get two houses with her husband, and they had two restaurants. And, she persevered through adversity. And I found out later that she didn't even know how to read. And she found a way to persevere and create for her family and put her family in a position to win and give me skills and give my grandfather skills and my entire family. And when I came to Brooklyn to move with my grandfather, I needed a male figure in my life, So the male figure was to help me because I was bad. I wasn't listening. I wasn't getting in trouble like police stuff like or going to jail, but I was kicking teachers and being negative. And my grandmother was like, yo, you need a male figure in your life. So I'm sending you to with my son and you're gonna live in Brooklyn. First time I came to Brooklyn, I got into a fight with one of my friends. And back in Queens, we used to play like Power Rangers and stuff like that, like playing with sticks, acting like we was like, ninjas. And when I came to Brooklyn, like I got into a situation with a dude, and my aunt was like, "Yo, you gotta fight him." And I remember my first stance was like Tommy, like from Power Rangers, like tried to kick dude grabbed my foot. Next thing you know, I was getting pounced out, and I was like, well, welcome to Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to learn. Don't get me wrong, I've been coming back and forth my whole life, but now I live in Brooklyn. Long story short, it gave me a different understanding, but I was able to keep myself out of getting in trouble because of extracurricular activities, because of my grandparents, because of my mentors and things of that nature. But my mother was incarcerated when I was younger. So we took trips and we sent those same packages that you're talking about, 7-8 hour trips on a bus to go see somebody. So I get it. And I saw, and that's kind of, I saw that kind of messed up me and my mother relationship because she would lie to me at one point, like, yo, I'm at work. And then I would go to school and be like, yo, all my friends would be like, yeah, my family work, my parents work too, but they come home. And long story short, I found out that she was incarcerated and I got mad that she lied. But we all go through our our adversities that make us look at things differently. And I've gotten myself in some trouble as well, in my 20s, and hanging around the wrong people, or doing things that you think is cool that's really not cool.
But
And
what makes them the wrong people? That's the right question,
what
right?
makes them the wrong people is that at this point in my life, right? I value my time more than I value the money in my pocket. I value who I spend my time with. Like, I'm just not going to invite anybody on a show called Young, Gifted, and Black if you're not in the arena of somebody that's looking like they young, gifted, and black, right? Because there's a lot of our people that choose not to do the work, choose not to believe in their dreams because of their shortcomings, because of the broken family structures. And I'm not going to say they were the wrong people, but I was going to say that I could have spent my time better. Because if I was doing what we're doing now in 22, you know what I'm saying? Imagine what the business would look like. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine what the success rate would be.
But I honestly feel, and that was well said. I honestly feel like everything we go through, all the trials and tribulations, mold us for what we are today.
That's a fact.
Like, most definitely. Because I remember times where I would see you in passing, and whatever was going on at that time, it was like, yo, listen, do what you doing, or whatever, keep me. I'm on this path.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't feel like nobody's the wrong person. I feel like everybody has their gift and their ability to do something greater. They just didn't tap into it yet.
But look, I look at it like this, right? When I was younger, I still value myself. My friends call me Cool K. My name of my company is Koolforlife. Cool K was a name that the streets, the hood gave me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Koolforlife was something that I put together. And, when you start looking at different perspectives, like, I knew you for over 15 years. But, like, at certain points, you start seeing that everybody's on a different path, right? And, like, the people that I hang out with now and the people that I spend my time with now, they have to be doing something positive. Like, they have to be doing something that's outside of the box. Or I feel like we wasting our time. Like, when I was younger, yeah, we could have a cipher and smoke a L and be somewhere for 5-6 hours just not doing nothing. But that's wasted time.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, right now, I feel like we valuing our time. We talking, we conversing, we agreeing to disagree, and I feel like that's how we're growing, right? So, I guess I'm gonna stick with the wrong people because I feel like in order for you to succeed in life at the levels that we want to succeed now, then you have to hang around and put yourself around people that's doing good like you or better than you.
Definitely.
And a lot of our friends and a lot of the people that we grew up with, they have accepted the idea that they're inferior. They have accepted the idea that, oh, I'm from the hood, so you could just drink on your juice and throw it on the floor, or you could pee in the staircase, or you could just throw your McDonald's out the window. Because we've bought into the idea like we're not good enough.
Nah,
Some of us.
I can't go for that. I would have to go more so with. It's a lot of us that don't know no better. Like, we don't know no better. That's just like me and you. We both clothing designers.
Yeah.
You got other things that you're involved in. I have other things that I'm involved in. But at the end of the day, this is our dream. This is something that we want to do. And we place a lot of time into it. When we started out, well, I could say when I started out, I didn't know nothing about no designing clothes. I just knew I liked to be fly. So I felt as though if I like to be fly, I know what other people like that'll make them feel as though they're fly.
Absolutely.
So
Same.
now I put myself in a position to create. I already had a creative mind, so it's like, all right, cool. Now I'm capable of designing something. So you go into it with the mind state of this shit is easy.
Yeah.
This shit is easy. I could do this, and then you see everything else that comes along with it. All the yeses, all the nos, all the ups, all the downs,
Yeah.
all the discomforts. Because this is something, I didn't go to no fashion institute.
Yeah. Me neither.
So the transition was extremely hard. Extremely. I'm in a house watching 1,000 videos on how to embroiderize.
Yeah.
I'm watching 1,000,000 videos on how to vinyl press. So now it's like I took the street aspect of things and placed it upon this because I want to cut the middleman out.
Absolutely.
I don't want to be the guy that has to constantly dish out money. I want to be the guy that's bringing it all in.
So we kind of had to go through our own schooling because I took kind of like the same route. I'm in school for social work. I'm working on my master's right now. Excuse me, allergy season, y'all. I'm in school for social work right now. And when I taught myself how to design t-shirts and how to create samples like a varsity jacket or a jogger pant, like I didn't know anything about that. I had to hire a project manager and he had to take me and show me how you go from scratch or how you create stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to create t-shirts, like you said, thinking like, yo, I'm fly. I know how to get fly. I know how to look good. So I'm going to make this stuff and it's going to sell like that. But no, it don't sell like that. Because your friends and your family don't buy like that.
They're not going to support it.
And the people that don't know you, they're not going to buy like that. But you still got to stay in, right? So I had the perseverance. So my first, my second, my third year, I ain't going to lie, I spent time buying 50 shirts and I end up rocking 20 of them shits. You know what I'm saying? Because I couldn't get them off because people didn't want to buy it. Yo, $50 is too much for me, bro. Right. But I just kept going. I kept believing. I taught myself how to screen print. I taught myself how to design. And now, even though the success haven't arrived yet, we've grown so much as men. Like I could attest that your brand has helped you become a better man. And so has mine. Like my brand has helped me evolve into a better person because I've never been more consistent and stayed on something like I stay on Koolforlife. Nothing else in my life. The only thing that probably come close is school and basketball because I'm very serious about, my education, and I used to love basketball. I still do. But now I love watching it and playing it sometimes. I used to think I was making it to the NBA at one time, but hoop dreams deflate like a true friend's weight.
To try and to fail.
Absolutely. So where we come from, it's a lot of negative things that happen. So another question that I have for you today, Slick, is the name of this episode is the more we kill each other, the more we continue to kill ourselves. So where did the idea, in your opinion, of killing your fellow brother or sister come from? Like, what makes us so comfortable? Like, how, it's on YouTube, how you can see Nipsey Hussle be murdered by a brother that shot him and they came back and shot him some more. Or you could turn on the TV, or we could actually know it of the environment that we're from, how easy it is for us to come up and blow our brother's head off or shoot up the block and not care about, if it's kids or elderly outside. Like, where did this stuff come from? Why? Where did it come from?
We can't really point no fingers. Look at it. There's crabs in the barrel. Look where we come from. Check on Gates, man. Check on Gates. There's 6 floors in every building. So now I'm on top of you, and I'm believing that I'm better than you. Why? Because I got a pair of sneakers, one pair of sneakers more than you, or I got a couple jackets, or a car outside that's costs more than you probably generated throughout the year. I feel like I'm better than you, but we in the same space. So I could say it's a project. Okay. It's the same thing. That's how it goes. It's a project.
That's a Jay-Z line. He said they call a project because it's a project. It's an experiment. We're in this only as object, the object for us to explore our prospects, sidestep cops on our way to the top, right? So everything you say is right, but I beg to differ on that. Where the mindset or the idea of how we kill and how we treat each other, I think we picked upon the bad habits of slavery and Jim Crow and all the hatred that came toward our people, right?
We can't place that on our people.
I'm gonna keep it real with you,
We
bro.
gonna place that on our people?
Listen, first and foremost, right?
Were we killing each other in those times?
Listen,
I'm asking you. Were we killing each other in those times?
In what times? Like the 60s or the 30s or the?
We were killing each other in those times.
We wasn't. I think
how
that.
Can you say it came from slavery and that?
Because
that's the reason that it's happening today.
Because the idea of how you can just kill another person, or the idea of slavery and all the wicked things that happen in that, I think we picked up a lot of that. Because look, for example, how many of us have gotten beaten with belts? Yo, go get that switch. How many of us got, you just got out the shower, I'm about to whip that ass. You know what I'm saying? That's a slavery mindset, bro. Like, where did that come from? Your child just came out the shower, and I was a kid that my girlfriend was like, "Oh, you just got the shower? It's time for you to get that beat."
When you compare, is no comparison.
Okay.
I can't sit here and say, yo, my mom's beating me like this because Joe beat my ancestors like that back in the days when they
Where
ran
did it
off the
come
lawn.
from, though, bro?
That shit ain't come from nothing.
Because, like, all right, I'm about to have a child, right? About to have a
Right.
girl, right? And as a future parent, I'm not beating my daughter. Like, I don't care. I'm not slapping her. I'm not whipping her. If I was having a son, I'm not beating them. I'm not going to curse at them. I'm not going to take out. But see, I am a soon-to-be social worker with an MSW. I understand what trauma and all these negative things do for being in it and being a person that was getting mentally abused and then being the person that's working on getting a skill set to understand how to help people like that. So why I won't be that type of parent? Because it really doesn't help. Me getting beatings and getting yelled and screamed at didn't make me not be bad.
That's anybody.
Yeah.
That's anybody, from adult to a kid. If I come at you right now in this sense and you say something right now on this podcast and you say, let's just say, yo, you shouldn't have said that. Of course I'm going to look at you with the side eye. You see a kid and the kid do this. You shouldn't have did that. They're going to look at you with the side eye.
Yeah.
It's just natural human reaction to anything that you feel is wrong and somebody is addressing you about it.
Yeah.
That's just how it goes. So, of course, with that being said, you should never feel as though you have to address your kid in that manner or address an adult in that manner unless they're going to the furthest extent with it.
All right. But listen, bro, when you think about the civil rights movement, I graduated from Medgar Evers College, cum laude, with honors, right? And in the process, we learned more about Medgar. Not to say I ain't know about Medgar when I went to Medgar, but I learned more about him while I was in the school. Medgar Evers got shot in front of his house in his chest. The way white people kill people of color within the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s was something that could never be re-illustrated. And when you think about some of those ways and you think about how we drive by and kill our people, how we could get close up and shoot our people, how we could stab and yell and disrespect our people, where did we get this from? Because you're not born like that. Like, you're not born to be abusive and negative and be hurtful. So what I'm saying, I feel we picked it up from the negative culture of slavery, Jim Crow, and all the negative connotations that come from this country. I don't think that our people are like that. I don't think that our people are, it's not inside of us. But you are able to pick up bad habits if you don't have the right people around you. This is why if a guy is living in a household where his father always beats his mother, he's more likely to, when he gets into a relationship as adults, beat his girlfriend because he watched that. So you tend to do what you see.
So now, us being generations away from slavery, right? You believe firmly that these are acts that was taken from those times?
Yes, because poverty is an inheritance just like wealth. So the same way how the Rothschilds or Steve Jobs could say, I got billions of dollars and I'm going to pass this wealth on to my kids, what black people have inherited in this country is a negative mindset of things that hindered them. And one of those things is violence and how we treat each other. Because like you said in the beginning, we didn't always treat each other like that. We didn't always hurt and kill each other like that. But I remember black people that was standing up, preaching black power, black rights, stop hurting our communities. Next thing you know, an old man gets shot in the deli or he gets shot in the cafe. That negative connotation didn't come from us. We didn't create that narrative. That's what we was running from and fighting from. Martin Luther King on the bridge, a bunch of cops running through, busting heads. It seems like we took upon these negative ideas and now we use it on our own people. And I think that's why.
Because this is a constant in our neighborhood. It's a constant. You get pulled over in your car, they don't know that you graduated Medgar Evers College. They know that?
No.
They aware of that?
No,
not just by looking at you, not just by viewing you or seeing your identification or checking your background. They don't know that.
Nope.
So naturally, what do? They treat you as if they treat any other guy that they see on the streets that fits the description.
Absolutely.
What is that? Like a nigga.
Yeah.
Regularly, they're gonna pull you out your car, search you, ramsack your car, sit you on the back of it, ramsack it some more, and then, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. So now when you seeing that on a regular basis, what is your reaction to that?
Well, I've been pulled over on numerous occasions, and why I've never got beat up, slammed, jumped, or anything by police because my grandparents taught me how to handle myself. So I know how to code switch. I know how to.
Oh, it's not only about that. It's not only about that. It's not only about being able to code switch. It's not only about them beating you up or anything of that nature. Why am I pulling you out your car? If I'm
Because I'm a
stopping,
black
listen,
man.
if I'm stopping you, right? I've seen Chinese people be stopped. I've seen white men be stopped, Caucasians be stopped. And where did it come from? And how did they handle them? They handled them in the proper manners. Hey, you got your license, your registration. Once that was handed to them, they ain't removed them from their vehicle.
Nope.
Why am I constantly being removed? So now when you see that, what is your natural reaction? As a human being, we habitual creatures. What is your natural reaction?
To be fearful.
No,
In a
not
sense.
only be fearful, but to object. I don't want you're not just gonna pull me out and do certain things to me. So now it causes what? A chain reaction.
Yes. I think that, all right, I say this all the time. One of my favorite quotes is the new illiterate of the 21st century are no longer people that can't read or write. The new illiterate are people that can't learn and unlearn. And our people, unfortunately, have picked up a lot of bad habits that are currently hindering us. That's why we're able to commit atrocities like the killing of Nipsey Hussle. Because you have an idea in your mind based on, all right, I've taught myself the right amount of empathy and love and unconditional love for my people, Kirk, right? Or Slick. That there's no way in my mind, and I'm not talking through something I read in a book, I'm talking about experience, where I've had the choice to really hurt somebody, or I had the choice to get somebody hurt. And my first perspective was the well-being of my brother or sister. The idea now, and this is what differentiates to me, whether you're asleep, woke, a demon, or an angel, if you feel in your head that I could kill you based on a disagreement, or I could kill you because you looked at me wrong, or I could kill you because you have a certain color on that's not supposed to be. These things are ludicrous to me because a life that God gave us is something that's so divine that you can't. I would never take somebody's life based on a disagreement. In order for me to take somebody's life, you have to harm my life or the ones that I take care of. I cannot take your life because I don't like you. I cannot take your life because you're more successful than me or because you call me a name. You know how many names I've been called in my life, bro? I can't. My thing is that whatever I do in this planet, when I die, I got to be able to talk to God, and me and him got to be at an agreement. We have to be at a same perspective type of state. So if me and God is sitting down at the table and he like, yo, why did you kill that person? And I'm like, oh, I just felt like he ain't like me. That's not going to be in an agreement. And I might not end up in a place where I want to be. So my thing is, while I'm here is, I love all my brothers and sisters unconditionally, but that came from my household. That came from my family. And then I adapted that idea.
But would it hurt you to understand that they don't love you as much as you love them? Would that hurt you?
Well, when you are woke or when you have when you're intelligent and you have a high understanding of what's going on, you realize that a lot
How
of
is your understanding though?
you realize that our people are in the matrix.
No, but I feel like how high is your understanding?
It's divine high. Because
so now you just sat here, right? And you stated that in slavery, and we're picking up these things from slavery times and from the times where our ancestors were, enslaved.
Yes.
All right. So with that being said, you spoke on God. You said if God, I sit down with God, or me and God is at a table and we speak amongst each other, and then he asking me why did this transpire on Earth? You don't think that was something that was implemented in those times?
What you mean?
As far as now we having a conversation based upon various topics. So now it's like, all right, you speak on God. Did you ever bear witness to him?
God is inside of me. So yes, in that sense, that's how I bear witness to God. Because I am a piece of God. You know what I'm saying? I don't do religion.
I don't do
you know what I'm
religion.
saying? So I am a piece of the creator. So you know that depending upon how high your frequency is, we all have an encoded, our spirit is the encoded like entity that connects us and allows us to be connected to our creator. That within itself it's no different from you creating a child, and your child bears your DNA, but they have their own DNA as well. But your child came off your offspring. Like you created your child. So we came from God, then we are God's children. That means that we're all a race of gods. Like our people are gods. We're divine beings. That doesn't put us with the all, because I call God the all. That doesn't put us nowhere near the all. That means that we all have that DNA. So we are beings that can manifest. We are beings that can destroy each other. We are beings that can kill each other. We are beings that we can say, yo, forget all that divine shit. Right. I'm going a demonic route. And a lot of our people, because it's all about a frequency to me, and frequency is like an energy. Like if you had like a thermometer, or if you had like a ruler, well, let me see. Frequency to me is like something that goes in two different directions. So with frequency, it could either go real high or it could go real low. So if you real high, that's that divine high. You next to the angels. You dealing with God on a divine sense. Right. But when it's real low, you are a person that could rob somebody, kill somebody, rape somebody, hurt somebody. You could do something to somebody just based upon an emotion and not care. It's people out there that will blow your head off, go in your pocket, and get back in their car and go home and have dinner with their family. Right. Because they wicked like that. That's the low frequency that they on. And it's people like that will jump in front of a bullet like, oh no, my brother, and like fight for you. You understand what I'm saying? But it's based upon where your frequency is at. So I think that we've seen so much negative stuff that a lot of our people, like you're an outlier. You just say, oh, I got locked up. I did a bid. I was getting packages. And I decided when I saw a plane fly by, this is some movie shit. This is some outlier shit. Outlier mean is that you're an exemplary individual in your community based off a mass majority of people that will never end up where you sitting at. Because the masses is going to say, oh, fuck that. I'm going to rob this shit. Fuck that. I ain't going to parole. Yo, fuck that. I ain't getting no job. And that within itself, if you can't code switch as a person of color, I don't want to work necessarily. I like inspiring young people, but do I want to have a fucking boss? No. Why do I still have a boss? Because I'm not financially stable. But I'm working on that shit.
So you believe that your craft and your talent will get you where you want to be?
I believe that my craft, my talent, and the divine intervention of my creator is going to get me where I need to be. Because I have the willpower to manifest this shit, bro. I used to talk about podcasts. I used to look at everything me and you just talked about. You said you walk out, just like I see people in your stuff, I see people in my stuff. And I be like, yo, damn, I remember I was talking to my man about this shit in the staircase. And now, fast forward 10 years later, I can see a variety of people in the community rocking my joint, and I ain't even in the stores yet. Ain't nobody backing me. Without the help of my lady and some real good close friends, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. So do I think that I'm going to get to the next step? Hell yeah. I think that you're going to get there.
And that's what separates me from a lot of people, man. That's what separates me from a lot of people. When I came home from prison, I ain't have shit. I ain't have nobody to give me a helping hand. I ain't had nobody to say, yo, here's a startup. Here's something to get you going. I had a vision, I had a plan, and I acted on it. I didn't ask nobody to do nothing, and the people that I did ask, I got turned away. You know why? Nobody believe in the positive out here. And it's sad to say, but you came up right down the block from me. You know how it is. Nobody believe in that shit. Oh, all right, you got something going? Look, Kool, you got something going? Word, what you got? Clothes? Nah, I don't need no sweater right now. But I'm going to walk down the block to Tom D's or Brooklyn Way or wherever that's close enough to me, Jimmy Jazz, whatever, and pick something up from there. That same day that you say, yo, I got this going on. It could match your whole attire. But a lot of people is going to push that away due to the fact of what? It's a crabs in a barrel. That's just how life works. So if we're going to sit here and act as if, oh, we didn't come from a place where on a constant basis everybody looks at it as, oh, he's doing something, I'm not going to patronize it until I see that it's popping. That's the world we live in.
All right. So this makes the perfect question, right? We all lost, the late great Nipsey Hussle, right? His life was taken on March 31st. And I'm be honest with you, for me, like I never met Nipsey Hussle. But like the way I'm taking his death is like somebody that I grew up with. Like it's bothering me because it's like, yo, this person that has so much to give, has so much to offer to the world, and it was taking was creating the opportunities he was creating to watch this man evolve. It bothers me that his life was cut short. It bothers me that there's so many Nipsey Hussles out there that has so much potential and so much beautiful stuff to offer to this world, and their life get cut short based on violence. How does that make you feel? And how did that make you feel? Like, were you a fan of Nipsey? Like, what did you think about that?
I listen to his music on occasions. And, when you see somebody that's giving back to their neighborhood or, in their neighborhood on a constant basis, trying to see things change, it touches you a little bit different. It doesn't matter if you're from the East Coast, the West Coast, the South. Right. It doesn't matter. So it's like, it affected me. It affected me to a point where I was like, damn, boy ain't deserve that. It didn't affect me to a point where I was like, yo, this is crazy. Yo, this is out of this world. It didn't affect me in that manner because we see this shit on the daily. I see it on the daily.
But see, that's the problem, right? Because I'm going to be honest with you. From the day I found out that Nipsey died, I woke up like in the middle of the night. Like he was on my mind. I cried. Like I watched his funeral. I watched his videos. I studied them. And when I studied them, right, you know what I said to myself? I said, yo, this shit is fucked up. I said, yo, this system got it so fucking crazy that thousands of people of color get murdered on a daily basis. And just like you said, and just like I say, because I live in the same community, we have been desensitized to like when a brother or sister get murdered, we on some shit like, damn, that shit fucked up. And we keep it pushing.
It ain't only that we keep it pushing. Look at the dynamics of the whole situation. They gave his funeral in the Staples Center, right? You gotta be a sick individual to sit there and watch somebody's funeral being recorded. And then the crackers, they getting it even better because now they making a profit off of it. Y'all coming to our center. And then BET put it on what? Their channel. So now what happens? Everybody is generating some type of revenue based off of this man's murder. And I supposed to feel away? I supposed to be what? Super sensitive to the fact that he got killed? I'm not saying that the brother getting killed was right, or I'm not saying, yo, that's what happens, it's cool. Nah, I'm saying it was, but everybody's looking for a profit over it, and that's the fucked up part about it. Nobody's watching that.
Well, here's the thing about that. Whether you Biggie, Nipsey, Slick, or Koolforlife, motherfuckers gonna try to get a profit off you.
Right.
Nipsey Hussle funerals in the Staples Center. Nipsey Hussle is being remembered and loved the way he is because honestly speaking, it's a lot of bitch ass niggas and it's a lot of people out there that have the funds and have the assets and choose to say, you know what? I'm gonna try to fit into white America. I'm gonna go out of my community. I'm gonna say, yo, you know what? Fuck my community. I ain't opening up no center. I ain't buying no property. I'm gonna go over here in the sticks and live with the white person or the people that feel like they better than us. And I'm gonna live there. And then I'm gonna tell people, yo, I live in Tribeca or I live in the sticks. And look, I'm better. But at the end of the day, right? The funny thing about Brooklyn is right now is imagine if people of color, imagine if every fucking resident within this community would have bought up some property, would have fucking fixed up their community, and we would have changed this shit up the same way. I heard Big Mike the other day, right?
They
Mike
did. They sold it.
Exactly.
What the fuck you talk about? They sold it, Cool K.
But don't forget about the
What
crack
you talk
era,
about?
bro.
They sold it.
Don't forget about the crack era, bro.
That's the whole thing.
The crack era,
Yo, bro,
the
everybody
crack
talk
era was
about
detrimental for
everybody
us.
talk about the gentrification and this transpired at these times, and it's like, all right, cool. It is gentrification. But how did it get there?
All right.
It's people that it's grandmothers, grandfathers, mothers, fathers that left their children properties.
Yeah.
And what they did, they sold it.
Listen.
They saw a little opportunity. They saw the ability to say, yo, I'm up. I got some money. I'm in a better position now. What they did, they sold it.
If you never have, you're gonna act like a heathen and you're gonna act like you never have.
Come on, man.
And here's the second thing.
Come on, man.
Because of the stress and because of how we eat and because of how we handle our bodies, when the elders died, a lot of the people that's around, and we suffer from this to this day, we lack the wisdom and the knowledge that's needed to sustain. And because people of color have been convinced that that green money is so beautiful and it's so amazing, a person would say, I'd rather sell my fucking grandma's crib for $1 million instead of holding that shit and keeping the investment. Because
And that's exactly what I just said, bro.
you're absolutely right.
And that's how the gentrification process transpired. Because people selling shit.
The gentrification.
Don't make it seem like, now because we in this position now where a fucking Jew school is being opened up on Gates Avenue.
All right.
That nah, it's not. We had this money.
Food
You know
for
what?
thought, though.
We had this money.
Food for thought, bro. Black people lost 80% of their fucking wealth during the crack era. Because you gotta understand something. Crack and alcohol.
We gonna constantly
and
speak
drugs,
on the past.
But you gotta understand that, like I said before, that poverty can become an inheritance as well. So you have generations of people.
But what about the
up shit?
What about the
Listen.
what about the brothers or the sisters? Or like you said, your mom's was incarcerated at those times. She was incarcerated. Y'all was going to see her, whatever the case may be. What about the brothers and sisters that was out here robbing banks, selling crack, doing whatever it was to generate
was
that
fucking up the community.
They was generating that
They
money.
was
Why wasn't they
was
putting it back
fucking
into it?
I mean, honestly speaking, bro, the older that I get now, every nigga that sold dope, crack, and benefited off the demise of their people was a part of the motherfucking problem. And now that's the same reason why we're in the predicament that we is, because we glorize motherfuckers on rap songs talking about blowing niggas' heads off. We glorize a nigga being like, yo, I got more than you and you can't get what I get. We glorize the hate and the destruction of our people.
I don't feel that everybody is glorified.
Look at 80% of the music.
I don't feel like everybody is glorifying it. I don't feel that. I feel as though we're in a place where it's competition. It's competitive. It's always been competitive. Hip hop, whatever the case may be, has been competitive. I got more bitches than you. I got more money than you. I got more jewelry than you. And that's the same thing that trickles down into the hood. I got a better car than you. I got more clothes than you. I got more bitches than you. That's what trickles down into the hood. And now we got away from, at those times, we got away from the fact that I got more houses than you. I got more stores than you. I got more businesses than you.
When I had a good amount of money and I was driving around in my Beamer, at one point in my head, I thought I had one on people or my friends or whatever.
So you understand it fully.
When reality hit and all that shit fucked up and I had to come back to reality, I learned that, like grandma told me a long time ago, baby, she said, it's best that you humble yourself or humbleness will be bestowed upon you. And I swear to you, every time I step outside of humble and I be like, yo, I start getting cocky, humbleness get bestowed upon me. So I would say that a lot of our people have picked up a lot of bad habits and a lot of negative things that hinder them, and that we have to make a shift. We have to make a shift because It's not okay to kill each other. It's not okay to disrespect each other. It's not okay to not support one another. And I don't think people of color understand this, yo. This religion shit that we got from America, this shit ain't for us, man. And honestly speaking, our salvation as people of color, it lie with us,
But
with
Cool
me
K,
and you.
but Cool K, this shit is totally different due to the fact that it wasn't embedded in us. It wasn't embedded in me to say, yo, nah, Cool K, my brother, I gotta make sure he come up. I gotta make sure he good. It's embedded in these people. Like, you got
It wasn't better than me,
You
though.
got a Jewish school coming on Gates Avenue, bro. You understand how that looks? Hold on.
Absolutely.
So now you got a Jewish school coming on Gates Avenue, right? It's a whole bunch of vacant lot in Williamsburg and in various areas, Greenpoint, all areas of Brooklyn. It comes on Gates Avenue, Bed-Stuyvesant, right? One of the most dangerous blocks at one point in time. You remember that, right?
Yes.
You wasn't coming in. So now the project is done. This ain't what this what the people not seeing. They're overlooking it. The project is done. We realize y'all motherfuckers is going to be able to kill each other off, and we're going to be in a greater space. Look, the crime rate goes down. Now it's possible for us to place all of this into these areas. Look, you got a look where we on top of right now. A CrossFit gym with an opening right in the front of it. What the fuck are we on top of? On Troop Avenue?
All right.
Come on, bro.
I just want to add to
Come
this
on,
shit
bro.
is that when I was younger, before I went to college, I used to think that white people was suppressing us and they was stopping us from growing, right? To a certain extent when I read like shit like the biography of Malcolm X, right? When I got older and I started to get some knowledge, some real knowledge, I started to realize is that honestly speaking, bro, it's time for people of color to hold their fucking selves accountable. If you need therapy, get therapy. Listen, wait.
But you're not holding
Wait,
yourself
bro.
accountable when you say
Wait.
it was embedded in us from then. You're not holding yourself accountable for now.
It wasn't better.
What the fuck? I'm a blame myself for when I wasn't even existed. No, I wasn't even thought of. I'm gonna blame. Oh yeah, we're killing and we're doing this because it was embedded in us from slavery days. No, I can't state that.
I'm gonna understand that based upon the music or based upon the environment, based upon the shit that I have came up on, that I understand that I have played my part in the negativity. And I've also played my part in the positivity.
So you don't believe, right? You don't believe, right? That a lot of people are media controlled.
I believe that a lot of our people have been put to sleep in a slumber because the system at B, they know how great we are. And I believe that people like me and you, we have found a way to be glitches in the matrix. But a lot of our people, bro, are asleep.
But we really aren't glitches in the matrix. You know
No,
why?
I'm a glitch in the matrix. And you are as well.
No, you know why I say you aren't a glitch in the matrix?
Why?
We're having a conversation, right? We're conversing. And, you know, it's on various topics. And I enjoy the fact that we could really touch on that. Yeah. Because there was a time in my life where I couldn't touch on certain things. Yeah. But we're glitching the matrix due to the fact the first thing that we did was what? Let me charge my phone. Let me set up my phone so I could do what? Go live, get on social media. Yeah. Now, social media has become people's lives. Remember the times where I gotta go to your block. I gotta go to your block. I gotta go through the hood. I got a new fit. I gotta go through the hood. Yeah. They gotta see me. We went by word of mouth. It was a lot different then. And it was like, look, it was a lot. Absolutely. It was more authentic. Because now I gotta rub shoulders with Cool K. Absolutely. I gotta see Cool K's aura. I gotta see if Cool K is able to hold a good conversation that's gonna be intriguing to make me want to do something different. Absolutely. Now I could just post a picture and post a good caption and say, yo, yeah, it's popping. Now, oh yeah, he lit.
Now, let me say this, right? Let me say this, bro. because for one, as long as I knew you, we never really found time to sit down and really talk. So this might be the longest conversation we had, although we knew each other for a long period of time.
Right.
So fuck that we charged our phones and our computers up. That's technology. We come from an era where we equipped to know what to do with it. But for a young person or adult right now on a Friday night, if you happen to go through a nigga live or go to we say what they can't radio station and you watching Young Gifted and Black, you see two young brothers on a Friday night. I'm quite sure that you're a very busy person coming together in love, working, talking, having great conversations, agreeing to disagree, talking about their businesses, showing how much they support each other, and we putting out a positive message. That's a glitch in the matrix, bro. Because how many? Let's go pull up 10 shit right now. The average person right now is trying to look for what girl or what guy they gonna get with and how they gonna make it happen. You decided to say, yo, right now, the first you got here before me, and this is my podcast. And the first thing you said was, I'm a man of my word. That's all we got. And we made it happen. So if I'm watching this right now, I'm like, yo, this is black excellence because look what we showing. We showing togetherness. We showing unity and unconditional love. And that's what we need right now. Is if you could have been like, yo, bro, I'm busy. It's Friday and I got shit to do. But instead you say, yo, bro, I'll be there. And honestly, you told me you was coming even if you wasn't on the show. And that type of support lead to other opportunities. And I think that a lot of our people, it's like, yo, if I can't get something from this person, then I ain't fucking with them. But at the end of the day, when you love somebody unconditionally and you want to see somebody win, you don't care if you're a part of the win. You just want to see them win. I don't, whether you came on my podcast or not, I always want to see you win. I always want to see you. I always want to put you in a position where you do something better or where your company grows and you aspire to bigger heights.
Right.
So, you know, tonight has been a beautiful and it's been an amazing perspective for me because I'm all for getting with my brothers. And at one point, I used to be like, yo, like if this brother got his own clothing line and if he doing his own thing, then I got to do my own thing. But at this point, I feel like we got to unify. I wrote a blog called Let's Get Our Nipsey Hustle On. And that means is that if you a person that got money and you got influence and you got success and you're not giving back to your community and you're not doing the things that you need to do to pay it forward and help young people grow and aspire to be better, then you're a part of the problem, man. It's sad that Nipsey Hussle had to be a young brother that showed us that we were supposed to be doing what we've been supposed to be doing. There's thousands of people out there that got success for themselves.
Yo, bro, that's one thing that I've been like really fighting against lately with a lot of people since bro was killed, and it's like it been Nipsey Hussles out here, bro.
That's a fact.
It been Nipsey Hussles. When I walk down Stuyvesant and Macon and I see Koolforlife on the floor, it's been Nipsey Hussles out here. It's just sometimes we don't have the financial backing or whatever backing it may be. Maybe you're not clout chasing, so you're not in the limelight as much as other people may be, but you doing the work, bro. You taught yourself how to screen print, which is something big. Like a lot of people wouldn't even know what that is when you state it to them. A lot of people don't even know they're walking around with a screen printed shirt on. So you can't say, oh, bro, it's been brothers getting killed out here that been had something going for themselves. Whether they was playing ball, whether they was designing clothes, whether they was contractors, computer technicians, whatever the case may be. So I feel as though, this was a major death for the hood. I feel as though it was a major death for the hood. But I feel as though people is undermining the fact that it's a lot of people that have been out here doing things to try to place their people and themselves in a better position.
I don't think
it's just you're not on that scale.
I'm not undermining. I'm gonna be honest with you. A person like Nipsey Hussle, for me, he inspires me to be better. I use his death as motivation, and I want him to live through me. I know that I carry the same attributes that he carry.
That's
I
deep.
know that I've been around the same people that he been around. I've been around some real niggas in my life. I've been around some real people in general. And I know that with the amount of wisdom that I have, that I gotta do something with it. And this is why I put myself in the position is to create platforms that show black excellence. Because I put you in that arena. Because at the end of the day, I take a Jay-Z line out of it. I will never be a product of my environment. My environment will forever be a product of me. So my environment doesn't determine what the fuck I be. I determine where I be. So the young people and the young women that's looking and that's watching and that they see me in the community, they see like, yo, this young brother living out his dreams. The young people that's looking at you when you standing in front of your building and when you doing things, they seeing like, yo, it's people out here living out their dreams. And if you could see that, then I did my job. Because at the end of the day, bro, I'm a lighthouse. My goal is just to be inspiration and show these young people that they could be great. You know, we getting ready to end tonight, and I just want to say, you know, like Kirk, like Slick just said, there's a lot of Nipsey Hustles out there. There's a lot of fallen soldiers, people that lost their life that are not here anymore. And what I can say is that it's time for us to do better. It's time for us to start loving and respecting each other. It's time for us to start looking out for our brothers and sisters, whether we benefit or not. It's time for us to realize is that if you kill your brother and sister, you're killing yourself. That's the law of oneness, because we're all connected with this melanin we love to talk about and this black and light and brown skin. We're connected. So if you're out here killing and disrespecting and taking and hurting your people, then you're hurting and killing and disrespecting yourself. And I think once we realize that, then we will make the transition to be better. I want to thank you, bro. I want to give a shout out to Top Flight. I want to give a shout out to my brother. I wish you happiness, joy, and laughter through all your days. I hope that your company continues to grow and you continue to evolve as a man. I want to say that I think it's time for us to realize that our salvation as people of color is dependent upon us looking out for each other. And until we realize that, we will forever be living in hell. You think that hell is a place that you go to when you die, or heaven is a place that you go to when you die, and that's not the case. You could create both entities while you're here, because I'm quite sure right now Nipsey Hussle family is feeling like they in hell. Some of them, like Lauren London, not that they don't understand how great he was, but it's hard when you lose somebody that you love, or that you know that they could have been a piece of change in a world that's so needed. So I want to say to all the young people out here, remember, our salvation lies with each other. Remember that we're better off together than we are apart. Hate is destroying the world. Love will save it. Thank you for coming out and watching this show with me. Thank you for showing us love. Yo, Kirk, for a minute, tell them where they can find you at.
You know, I'm on Instagram. You can find me CEO_Slick, SLICKK. I'm on Facebook, Young Slick. You know, I got Flight Time Apparel, which you could purchase on flighttimeapparel.net. So, you know, I'm a little bit of everywhere, man.
You could catch me at Koolforlife.com, and that's with a K. And I'm also on Koolforlife_Inc. I appreciate all the people that come out and watch me on every Friday when I do this show. And I appreciate all the people that support me and Slick. Let's continue to work towards showing the world what black excellence look like. This is another episode of Young, Gifted, and Black. Y'all stay blessed. Y'all stay safe. And I'll see y'all soon. Y'all have a great night.